What made the weird kid at your school weird? The Vine where a kid goes, "I have the power of God and anime on my side," and screams like a banshee went to my middle school. He was maybe 4 grades underneath me, but his weirdness turned him into one of the most popular kids in his grade. Kid smelled like he bathed in cat pee every day. Hissed at anyone who came near him. Used to run through the hallways from class to class. Threatened to kill me in a computer lab because I used Internet Explorer instead of Firefox. Had one girl in my year who had a weird obsession with our physics teacher. Then in a lesson learning about spinning forces, she asked if she could show a cool video to the class. He said yes. The video was of her spinning on a pole in her underwear. When he sent her out, she was yelling the whole way. "Why? Are you saying that pole dancing is sexual? Cause that's sexist." She wore butt skimming skirts with fishnet tights and corsets on non-uniform day as well. Always got sent straight home. They ended up expelling her when we were about 17. She was a furry who tried recruiting people into her newly founded furry religion, where the type of furry you were spiritually was based on your birthday, like some freaking astrology BS. She also had a boyfriend who was into the whole furry thing, but in a really weird sexual way, cause they'd make out on the floor or in the lounge areas and bark growl at each other, and it just made everything uncomfortable for everyone. Edit. This happened in my first year of college, if that adds to the weirdness. Teachers had to make a public announcement banning people from making out and doing all that romantic stuff on campus BC of how bad it got. There was a kid in my school who was obsessed with Mario. He had Mario sweatshirts and notebooks. And a Mario backpack. Well, someone figured out that if you told him Mario is dead, he'd flip, scream and cry "fuck you." No, he's not every time. He got in trouble multiple times for attacking kids who said anything about Mario dying, even if they were talking about in the context of Smash Bros or something. This happened 8th 10th grade, then I never saw him again. Kid always wore a zoot suit. Every day. Not that weird, I guess. But back in high school. Weird as frick. Edit. Some more details. These were not Salvation Army hand-me-downs quality. This kid wore nothing but high quality zoot suits. With a chain and nice shoes to match. Every once in a while he had a chrome tipped black cane. He had bright colored ones. Pinstriped ones. Dark blue ones. And pure black ones. Didn't see him with the hat very often though. This was in 2005-06. I think he won best dressed in the yearbook. I don't have one to confirm though. Edit number 2, a letter. Mustard boy. I'll never forget him. He would cover his lunch tray in mustard. Chicken nuggets. Mustard. Mexican pizza. Mustard. Breakfast for lunch. Mustard. It didn't matter what it was. He would drench it in mustard. He wasn't doing it just to make a mess of his lunch tray. He always finished his mustard food. Edit. Mexican pizza was a hexagon-shaped pizza with sausage and shredded taco seasoned cheese on top. It wasn't at all Mexican. But that's what it was called. He would jack off in the middle of class. He didn't actually pull it out, but he would aggressively rub the side of his pants and his face would get really red while staring at the girls in the class. Everybody noticed, but a word was never spoken about it. He was on a hair trigger. Would snap and threaten people. Suspended multiple times. 2 memorable incidents were when we freaked out at an art teacher. Went to his locker and came back with a bullwhip. He made that thing snap and sent everyone running. She barricaded herself in the supply room. Another time someone made the mistake of teasing him about something and everyone laughed. And he pulled a knife and screamed, "Who wants to the first to die?" He was expelled and I'm not sure what became of him. I had a girl hiss at me in 5th grade. Hadn't seen her in about 16 years. Recently went to a party she was attending. She asked if I remembered her and said, "Boy howdy." She hissed again. I always knew she was weird. I had a locker above his and he always yelled something stupid. The most common phrase was, "I got balls in my face." He also somehow brought koala poop to the school. Edit. There was a possibility that it really wasn't koala poop. But it was small brown pellets in a small bag with a koala on it. He whistled, "Don't worry, be happy. Always." He ended up being the valedictorian for my graduating class. But his refusal to use a locker and carry all of his textbooks in his backpack led to severe back issues, resulting in him wearing a backplate throughout high school. I believe he also has Asperger's, so he wasn't social either. He would have full conversations, arguments, and sometimes physical altercations with a brick column in the middle of the cafeteria. My weird kid stood up at an assembly and asked the vice principal if she knew what hentai was. Edit. She did not comment on whether or not she did. He was just told to sit down because the students immediately started laughing. Sorry for the unsatisfying ending. He was caught eating berries off of a tree branch in a compost trash can in 5th grade. He'd act feral around everyone else, but if you got to know the kid, he was actually pretty down to earth and cool. In middle school around 6th grade I tried getting to know him better and found out he might have had some kind of multiple personality disorder. And was grateful for someone who didn't judge him that much. I try my best to not get him to do stupid poop. He was later expelled for what everyone said was biting a teacher. I saw him once during high school and he got really freaking hot too, seemed way chilled out. When I asked about why he left, he said he wasn't allowed to talk about it but was getting help, so that's always good. Gabe, if you're out there, I hope you're doing well. He always carried around a briefcase, but never opened it. Sat on the briefcase during lunch, classes, etc. It was like the nuclear football. Always in his hand or he was sitting on it. He carried it onto the stage during graduation. Got his diploma. Right as he was leaving the stage, he opened it up and dumped a bunch of confetti on the principal. I guess it was the long con. No one questioned why he was carrying it on stage. His dad started a house fire, insurance scam, and died in the fire. This was around 6th grade. That messed him up a bit. The kid would tap his feet and hands uncontrollably and he talked about shooting people. He wrote his crush's name on the wall in the bathroom with his own poop. They caught him brown-handed. Also would freak out if someone said werewolf. He gave himself a swirly because nobody ever got one in the 3 years he was there. Edit. Forgot to mention. It was in the urinal. They thought they were an immortal vampire and walked around talking and acting the part. His go-to excuse for not having homework finished was that he was traveling, even though he was at every class. And he never paid attention to anything but his fidget spinner unless he was talking. The way he spoke, he knew everything there was about creative writing. Yet his submissions consisted of plots ripped off directly from anime. This was in a college class. Well, had one guy that was always talking big poop, faking injuries, bent my ankle so I can't practice, liver is burning etc. Always drew pentagrams on poop. Took Japanese so he could get a waifu. Just all around a freaking creep with girls too. Well, go arrested for CP here last month. I wasn't surprised. Weird. I didn't have any weird kids in school. Oh no. He once asked me to be his gay slave. So I don't even know how to feel about that. I just wanted some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I wasn't even going to use. Not exactly the weird kid, but definitely the kid not many people wanted to interact with. Was very pushy. Generally awkward. Also often tried being all cool by using big words but failing miserably. But the thing that took the cake was when some girl sent the entire grade something along the lines of say your name X times. Say your parents' name X times and then say your crush name X and in a few days your crush will be with you. And he actually responded to the email. It was an awkward year till his crush left. Edit 1. The crush did not leave because of him or anything. This was an international school, so it was quite common that students would come and go. Plus the country we're in, not gonna mention name, is not in the best conditions these days, so that may have been one of the reasons. The reason I'm here is because of my mother's work. Anyway, thanks for all the upvotes, Edit 2. Thanks for the silver kind stranger. He walked around like Master Chief. Even teabagged the ground randomly. All while holding an invisible assault rifle. Kid look exactly like G-Bag from Prison Break. Instantly was treated as if he had the same personality and so was seen as weird. There was a girl in grade 5 that created her own language called Schmolby, and she'd sit in the corner and whisper to herself in it. People also used to tell her there were spiders on her hair and she'd get mad at them and scratch their faces. She purposely grew out the nails on her index, middle and ring fingers and filed them into sharp claws. To be fair, telling someone who is clearly not completely all there that they've got spiders in their hair is probably not going to end well for you. She ended up leaving the school in grade 6. Aside from that, in grade 3 I microwaved a kid's winter boots in our lunchroom because I thought they were the reason he ran faster than me. I was just fat. That was why he was faster. Edit. The crazy person was the first story, with my second story being a funny addition, but it seems as though everyone is more concerned about my boot eating antics. I accept the role of crazy. I am the crazy. Edit 2. Of course, the story where I go toss someone's boots into a radiation machine is my highest comment of all time. Thanks, I think. I'm looking through all these to make sure no one's talking about me. She was afraid of cows, and if you said moo or mentioned cows she'd freak out and attack you. I'll give it to her though, she'd even try to attack guys 3 times her size that were athletes. She wore bat ears and a black cape and would scream her name while running down the hallway Goku style. Her name was Elizabeth, but she asked that she be called Lizard. Edit. Apparently there are thousands of lizards running around the US and we are 100% about it. Long live the Lizard Queen. Second edit. Yes, I meant Naruto. I am anime illiterate. I apologize. He brought a used condom he found into school. I went to high school with the wolf kid from the meme. On all levels except physical. I am a wolf. Next image is him barking at the water. He called himself Wolfie. So I would say that guy. She carried a stuffed rabbit everywhere. Only wore leggings. And constantly propositioned people to have a threesome with her and her boyfriend. Edit. She wore leggings as pants. And this was before that became a trend. There was a kid in my 8th grade class who would spit in our teacher's coffee cup every day. He later killed himself while playing Russian roulette. Gosh, where do I begin? He was weird but more creepy. He wore a kilt to school, rumors say with no underwear, on multiple occasions. He talked about how attractive his sister was, to the point where a lot of us wondered why he moved to Minnesota from no poop, Alabama in the middle of the school year without his sister or dad. He brought his mom's dildos and vibrators to school to try and sell them. He ended up getting expelled for that. But a lot of people say it was because of the amount of girls who came forward and said he was following them home. Edit. Wasn't expecting this to become my most upvoted comment. I texted my friend who had a lot of classes with him and she told me some more things about this kid. He masturbated during class while they were watching a WWII documentary. He got suspended for this. He would hide under the bleachers during assemblies and play the kazoo during the national anthem. Rumor has it he would also pinch people's butts. Male or female. Looking back, now that we know what it is, most of the weird kids I knew growing up probably had depression, were abused, or were autistic. He ate playground gravel and used the urinal with his pants and underpants all the way down. Edit. Wow. This blew up. I guess I'll just add that the kid I'm talking about ate the gravel because apparently he thought it tasted like pizza, and that I distinctly remember one time when me and a bunch of other kids were huddled around the bathroom door watching him do his business, and I just remember that bare ass and how weird it was that someone would use the urinal like that. Spent an entire year making a valiant effort at trying to lick his own ear. He never pulled it off. He truly thought he was a dirt bike. He would run through the halls jumping off of lockers and make the shifting gears noises with his mouth. Absolute mad lad. Hey you, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and hitting like. Also, if you have an Alexa device, you can say Alexa, open Reddit stories, to hear some of the all-time top Ask Reddit posts. Thanks for watching.